Hi, folks. The other day I was listening to somebody tell the story about a marathon that they had run and she's very fast, as you'll hear, obviously. Her goal was to break 3 hours in the marathon, and she felt great in the marathon. She was just nailing the pace, hard, but at the same time feeling effortless, flying through. And she gets done with the race, and she didn't break three. In fact, she ran 3:01 and change. And at first she's like, what happened? Well, what happened was she was paying attention to what the GPS told her she was running, not what she was actually running, and the GPS had her going a little bit faster than she thought. Had she not made that error, could she have broken three? We'll never know, but of course her supposition is maybe I had a little bit more, maybe I could have. So let's talk about GPS. It's a fantastic tool, and why is that? So, if I can get my sheets off. The way consumer-grade GPS works, I say consumer-grade because if you're the military, you're using a lot more accurate GPS. There's about a 15-foot diameter circle, and every time that the GPS checks in, how often your GPS checks in depends upon your watch, how it's set, or your phone with any GPS. It'll have you at various spots in that circle. Now, it seems like you're running in a straight line when you're actually running. You look at the map. Otherwise, it really smooths all that out. But you could be any place within this 15-foot diameter. Even if you're going straight, you could still go a little bit farther or a little bit shorter depending upon how it has you in that circle at various times when it checks. Curves really do a number on GPS typically. You can see here, if you're on that part of the circle that's following the curve exactly, it might be 35 feet. It could be 75 feet if it's on the outside. So the bottom line is GPS is a fantastic tool, but it's not going to be dead on accurate. So what can you do about that? First, I'll separate training and racing a little bit. I will tell you, in training, it's almost always close enough. Now, I never use the Autolap feature if I'm running something that has a known distance like a track. If I'm on a track or someplace where I know exactly what a mile is, I'm going to mark that manually. It helps me kind of get calibrated as to what the paces feel like, and I know it's exactly spot on. For the rest of it, I just use Autolap and I don't worry about it. If you're supposed to run, say, a 9-minute mile, and that GPS is maybe going to be more like 8:55, 9:05, that's not even consequential. So I don't really worry about it in training at all. I do personally worry about it in a race. It doesn't mean that you need to. So in my case, in a race, I turn Autolap off. I manually will hit the lap every time I hit the mile marker. Now, there's a few disadvantages of that too. Sometimes I zone out and I miss the mile marker. It happened actually in the last race I did. I missed a mile marker. Okay, so then I just catch it up the next time. Sometimes the mile marker is off. That happens from time to time. The races put it in a wrong spot. And other times you get on the course and find out there's no mile markers at all. But still, I always turn the Autolap off, and I try and mark things manually because I want to know when I hit that 1 mile mark, 8 mile mark, whatever, what was my pace for that last mile. The rest of the time, I'll glance at GPS now and then, but to me, it's just kind of an input. I'm still going by what the right feel is and then calibrating that feel when I get to it. Now, you could leave Autolap on. If you do that, I suggest that you self-adjust. What do I mean by self-adjust? Well, if Autolap goes off and you glance down and you go, oh, 9, that's just what I wanted, but you see the mile marker is still ahead, kind of say, okay, that was 10 seconds ahead, 5 seconds ahead. I didn't run 9, I ran 9:05 or 9:10. Conversely, Autolap could go off. It could be behind you and realize that actually I was a little bit faster. So you could self-adjust and leave the Autolap on. You can go to a stopwatch. Back before the days of GPS, I had the Ironman triathlon watch or something like that, and you did everything by feel, and when you hit a mile marker, you hit it, and then and only then did you really know what your pace was for that type of a mile. You don't certainly need to have GPS at all. So GPS is a fantastic tool. You can use it exactly the way that you want, but just be aware that it's not going to be exactly accurate, and there's maybe a few tips on what you can do to help take that into consideration.